but there's a lot of question and answering in it. And he gets presented with a question he's heard tons of times. And the question is there free will or predetermination, or is free will in predetermination? So then I don't know how he went, and he says, well, so let me break this down. Can you hear me still? Someone else is on there. So the assumption is there's some people there, and that person is asking what they believe is an important question. And the question is there free will or predetermination, or a tricky one, free will in predetermination, which would be more subtle, yeah? So it seems like it's going this way. So the assumption is there's people there, and the assumption is one person probably is assumed to know more than the other people, and they're asking towards that one person. And with that in place, they want to go to the answer, yeah? So there's all these components, and then the answer that they're looking for, is it predetermination, or is it free will, or free will appears in predetermination? Yeah. And usually that would become the topic, maybe follow-up questions, other people get involved, maybe someone who is entrepreneurial creates a seminar, free will, predetermination, free will, predetermination, weekend first, and then maybe a week, and on we go. Yeah, and there's a belief that in this knowledge, if I got this message, it would make me feel different than I'm feeling now, probably. Whatever. Yes. So, but we're going to go back the other way, because this is what he does. It's so beautiful. If you follow this little question answer, he says, if there's a sense of individuality, no, he's not saying is there individuality, because for most people that's assumed to be true. But he's saying if there's a sense of individuality, there's going to be a sense of free will. So now he's gone not for the future, not setting up the weekend retreat. It's going the incredible opposite, and it's questioning the foundation. The whole topic is being seemingly danced around on. Just the question of foundation. So he gets to a very clear, I feel, super clear point. He doesn't stop at free will. He goes right to where free will comes from, is this sense of individuality. Bingo. So he says, if there's a sense of individuality, so if there is, there's going to be the appearance of free will. So the action figure is the sense of individuality, obviously. Yeah. So there's a lot of commonality in thoughts. There's a lot of commonality in we're breathing the same air, a lot of commonality in this, but we're very unique. We look unique. We look different than everyone else. Yes. So there's the point. So the sense of individuality is really being represented in this manifestation or this dreaming as a body. Yeah. So that's the sense of individuality given form. Yeah. Now, the body doesn't probably feel that, but the head feels that it's unique because of the body looking unique. Yeah. Okay. So from here, a lot of assumptions go this way. He stops the assumption, doesn't say anything really about free will or predetermination. He says, if there's a sense of individuality, there will be a sense of free will. Beautiful. I mean, incredible dissection. Just like everyone wants to go from the head, he goes to the tail. Just fucking cuts the head off by pointing out the tail. And the tail is the story of being a head, really. So the beauty thing is sense of individuality. Now, does a sense of individuality mean individuality? No, it doesn't. See, he didn't say, or at least the way they wrote it or translated it was very specific, a sense of individuality. So Can there not be an individual, yet there can be a sense of individuality? Yes, because that's actually the case. Now, a lot of people, they come to this end, they feel they're an individual, and now they want to lose that sense of individuality as the individual. You see where that's going to go. Some strange places, you know. It's going to be chanting, I'm not a body as a body, shit like that. so we're not going there. No, don't waste any time trying to convince that thing that represents a sense of individuality. It's not an individual. Just go right to the source, which is not an individual. And not being an individual, a sense of individuality is included. The sense of individuality excludes a lot of shit. It says you are a thing, a separate, long-lasting, independent, separate thing, and just galvanizes that little lazy assumption and makes it seemingly so, to the point where you don't feel like you're having a sense of individuality. You feel like an individual having a sense of individuality. It's the same thing like the sense of self felt from the sense of self that you would call ego, let's say. So the sense of self calls the object of itself as ego. So everyone wants to get rid of the ego, but they want to get rid of the ego and be there to enjoy it. Yeah, do you see it? It's beautiful to see, because it's going to be, when you look at the whole schematic of the mental condition, you're going to see principles in there which erode the whole fucking story. And this is one of them, because most people, they really want to know if there's free will or predetermination. But that what's causing that really wanting to know that is the sense of individuality. And they don't want to know that. They're not interested in the sense of individuality. They're interested in the sense of individuality, either having free will or predetermination, because it seems going to affect my week, so to speak, as the sense of individuality. If it's free will, if it's predetermination, what the fuck? Yeah. So, and then he says, beautiful follow-up, he says, you know, the only value in these questions is to use them to look at who's asking the question. Yeah. Is the asking of the question coming from what we are through this sense of individuality? Because if it is, it's good to see. Because it doesn't mean what you are is enjoying the sense of individuality. There's a sense of individuality that implies a singular you. Yeah. So you catch both of them, the sense of individuality and the reaction to it, and you're neither. Yeah, you're just aware of it. Yeah, you're aware when you're not aware of things. Usually, if you're not aware of a lot of things, it's because you're aware of other things, and something seems to be directing that incredible panoramic sky-like awareness and focusing it, which is that which is seeing is now a form of looking, called self-centeredness. Yeah. So the awareness is now being funneled through a very catacomb-like system of thought and belief and shit like that. It's still that which is seeing, but really its functionality here is looking. And the looking as that which is seeing is the blindness to that which is seeing. Yeah. So when you use the looking to try to find the seeing, yeah, there's more looker. Yeah. Then it leads to more liquor. And then stronger than liquor. So here, instead of going off that way, just step back and this is, you know, like him or not, knowing him or not, as the godfather of non-duality, what he says has a lot of sway, so to speak, and he's basically super clear there. There's a sense of individuality being produced by the mental state. That sense of individuality produces other things, which is the idea of free will. because the free will, if there's no free will, then whose life is it anyway? That's contesting the basic assumption. It doesn't like that. Yeah. So let's talk about free will. Yeah. But the thing is, if you're not the doer of this shit, whose life is it anyway? Your whole story about this is your life is you're the one that's been doing the shit in it. Yeah. If you take that's like a cornerstone of the fucking Tower of Babel, so to speak. Yeah. So this is about you question that, and then the thing falls in upon itself. You ever see when they do those controlled explosions or demolitions, when they're done well, the building just collapses in. It doesn't blow out everywhere, just go boom. Exactly. That's just what it's like. It's warning you if you question the strength or the foundation of this building, it's gonna blow up your whole life. But really, it just implodes. And then there's the space that it was once filling, and the space isn't marred or has a plaque, I was once there. It's nothing, it's just space. And you see, you were an appearance in space, as space appearing, I would say. Now, you can't understand that and know that, but you can sense that. And just like the sense of individuality leads to a lot of other fucking insane ideas, the sense of this, of let's say presence, will lead also to some maybe saner ideas. Yeah. There's going to be a triggering and a reaction or a response to it. When you start from I am Paul, it's much different than when you start, which is the only place to start, from I am. Just goes a different direction. If the I am gets emphasized, it's going to influence whatever Paul, to the point that Paul will travel lighter in spite of himself. If the I am is unemphasized and the emphasis is on Paul, yeah, then this I am is going to be used by the head to produce this sense of individuality. What's going to make you feel like an individual is going to be the existence of I am. So it's basically, it can go either this way or that way. Now, but really it doesn't go. It can only go that way. So when you see it going on, doesn't mean it actually is going on. It only appears to be going on. It's never been going on. It just appeared to us that it was going on. And now you're getting weaned off of those ideas. So now it's appearing to be going on, but not to us. Yeah, very cool. But see, when it's appearing as us, it seems like it's going on. Yeah, so you get a little lightness and you travel lighter. And then basically, all the metaphysical whys, you just lose complete interest in it. It's basically, you know, I hope I have some gluten-free bagels at home. It's more important than I got to watch that new video. No, you know, you're just basically here because you can't be anywhere else. Does that mean that this is here? No, I'd say it's appearing, but basically that which is appearing with it ain't going to leave it. It always comes back to the appearance. I tried. I mean, this body shot heavy duty drugs to the point of overdosing. And it was lucky on those runs, because after you're doing a lot of coke, you're shaking a little bit. You can't put the needle in yourself. So you'd have to have a little amigo who would be pumping it in. And that amigo would see how much you had lined up and would be watching your eyes. And when it went a little too far, he did not push the plunger all the way in. He went against your wishes, but you couldn't do it or you would have missed the vein. Yeah. You need a sure hand. So I remember I was sitting there and I could see the guy recognizing I was going off, and motherfucker, and he just pulled back. He didn't pump the whole thing in, which would have killed me. But that was the point. I was thinking something other than me would die and I'd be free from it for at least 30 seconds at least. Made good sense. I wasn't running it by many people. It wasn't like a giant church of cocaine shooters or with like a mentor or a lineage. It was just fucking fucking, like fucking cowboy, just fucking trying whatever came to mind and seemed to have some impact. I went for it. But one of the things out of all that events, I realized you can't get out of an imaginary place. Wow. I had no idea that I wasn't in all this shit I wanted to get out of. I had no idea. None. The meditations afterwards didn't bring that about. Nothing did. Just something hit me through satsang, hearing satsang. And it wasn't even understanding the words. I couldn't even hear her. She's very soft spoken from Eastern Europe, and it was out in Berkeley in a park. I couldn't fucking hear a thing. It was like every four of us still trying to figure out what she was saying. You know what I mean? But it didn't matter because something was there. There was a presence. There was a presence that at that moment override the sense of individuality. The sense of presence had the ability always to override the sense of individuality. It does. Yeah. That's why a lot of times you have those moments when it does. And then there's a story that you had this incredible experience of your own absence, but no, it's not really what happened. Yeah. The tide went to a certain level and then, nirvana was there, so to speak. Yeah. Yeah. So it's beautiful to take it back that way. It's because if you see, like sometimes people, they get their questions answered. Sometimes you don't, because it's great to starve the questioner because you're the answer. So the sense of being the questioner is overriding the obviousness of the answer. So sometimes it's best to starve that line of questioning so it's left with what it thinks it is, and then it sees it from what it is. Yeah. But it's not going to have that opportunity if you keep giving it candy every time it asks. It won't. Just same thing in recovery, where you come into recovery, and of course you wish everyone gets sober and stuff. But then after a while, you realize there's shit going on that you can be doing a person a disservice trying to keep them from their bottom. Because the only way it's written in their little storyline is they got to go get completely fucked to get unfucked. And you trying to get in there, you should question your own motives, because it's obviously they don't give a shit about getting sober. Why are you trying to push it on them so much? Yeah, so let them have what they want, and then they're a production of malleability occurs, and now they finally hear the message, almost like satsang, really. Yeah, this isn't like, okay, you were in the Buddhist army, the Kabbalah army, the Sufi army. Now I'm recruiting you for another. No, this is completely this army. Yeah. You can stay in the Buddha army and hear this. You can stay in the Sufi army and hear this. Yeah. Because it's the underlying assumption that's being questioned by non-duality. Well, how it flowers or expresses or doesn't matter. The point is to see this, because if you don't see this, you're going to be looking from it. You're going to be looking from the sense of individuality and thinking you're an individual. You won't be thinking. The thought system will just fucking put a flag on that and fucking pound away at it. It will, completely. So the sense of individuality now is just a sense of Paul. Yeah. And it ain't. See, it gets it. So and then it has the greatest propaganda tool, which is something that's always pulsating, the I am, having it being used to reinforce the I am Paul. It's mind-boggling. Yeah. So we're mistaking presence as a presence of individuality called Paul. Yeah. That's why you don't have to go anywhere. That's why you're what you're looking for. That's why the seeker is the sought. That's why you can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha. You can't use the sense of individuality to seek the absence of individuality. You don't see the duality of it. You're going to want to be there to experience your own absence. That's what's going to happen. So there's always going to be two in the zero or the one. Yeah, that's why the one's so attractive to the two, because it's going to be there. The other aspect of the two, when it squeezes into the one, it's going to experience its own absence fucking far out. But no, this is zero. Yeah. Yeah. So it's simple. It's just you may not be interested in it. So what? It doesn't matter. Yeah. Life is the greatest convincer, really. So whatever it takes, it doesn't take anything, but it may take a lot. It matters how you're going to dream yourself out of the dreaming, as it says in the Course in Miracles. But there's a good indication while you're dreaming yourself out of the dream's going to get a little happier. You're going to feel a little different, and it's going to feel better. And this is going to be one of your highest notes that you've hit as you're getting older, which you thought it would be the opposite way. So you're swinging the right way. All right. Just keep following the cues, listen to the tune. It's not the riff or the chorus, it's the bass line. The I am, a big thumping, like German techno music. Remember that shit? There was an island in Thailand. They'd have this thing, a full moon party on Koh Phangan, and they had that German techno music, and you would be sleeping at the other end of the island, boom, 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 feeling the fucking thing coming through the fucking bamboo floor. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. This is sort of, here you are. The I am is sort of like that. The I am has just been misnamed. It doesn't have a name. So the head can't handle that. So it gave it a name called Paul. And then it's trying to focus on Paul at the expense of the I am. Yeah. So if we're going to look through something, which we seem to be looking through, if we're looking through a certain telescope that has a bias and only wants to look at Jupiter at the expense of every other constellation, you're going to think, oh, I love Jupiter. Yeah. I'm just completely concerned about it. No, you are the open awareness. It's what you're getting moved through, almost like when you see the cows and they run them through those little alleys into a pen. You know what I mean? They have a little thing, they get there. So here we are like this, and suddenly we're like this. Yeah, because we start at such a small little place, a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. I mean, how are you going to see that much? So self-centeredness, typical recognition of that system is it sees everything as how it pertains to self. So how I feel as that sense of individuality becomes the agenda. Yeah. When the sense of individuality is just mistaking the sense of presence. You're now giving the sense of presence the insane mental superpower of not being here or being obsessed with what's not happening. But nothing ever leaves, does it? No. Here and now, I mean, there and then can only be entertained here and now. Yeah, yeah. So, this is a very cool chair. I mean, this sitting. If you want to talk about gazing, I couldn't have manufactured it better. Remember the time we had the helium balloon and we set them off, Chris, remember? And the helium balloons were going and they were going towards San Francisco. I could hear that song. When you going, make sure you wear, but you don't have any hair, so no flower in your hair. But this is like pure gazing. This is gazing. This is what it's like. This is unfocused looking that gets closest to the seeing, which is gazing. Not focused like this. Yeah. So the gazing implies a larger aspect that you can't know, but only can be. But the gazing hints at that, and that's the joy of it. Yeah. Yeah. So the habit is you walk in, classroom, big chalkboard, you see the mark of the chalk, not the big black void, but a little dot. That's where your attention goes. That's directed attention. That is not presence. That's looking. Yeah. So you can see the habit. You don't need many examples. You can see the habit of the mental activity, which is it likes to look at particulars at the expense of the larger view. So it's a myopic view. And in that myopic view, it doesn't have a panoramic view. It has a lot of ideas about a panoramic view, which become myopic. Just like you can see a panoramic view would be enlightenment, panoramic view being translated by the myopic, enlightenment causing you more suffering. Yeah, where you'd be better off if you've never heard the word awakening. It's led to more discomfort than taking any of it away. So that's the myopic trying to entertain the panoramic. It just makes it myopic. Yeah, and the panoramics can see the myopic. But the myopic, it's a threat to its system. It cannot or will not see the panoramic because it would be at the expense of its seeming life, so to speak. That's how it sees it. Yeah. It's like an Old Testament God. It doesn't brook any other God put before it. It's very jealous because it's anxious. It knows it's on thin ice. It knows at any moment. And this is what happens. You see it in recovery. The head is telling the truth when it says, I'm afraid. How it gets translated is not true. That I'm afraid means you're afraid. It just means this foreign activity is afraid. It only becomes you're afraid in the act of being identified as the foreign activity. So a lot of times your head is describing its experience perfectly. I resent that fucking person. I hate this. I hate you. I'm fearful. I'm afraid I'm not going to get what I want or lose what I have. It's telling the truth. But when we say immediately, we mimic as if I'm the one who's afraid of not getting what I want and losing what I have. That's the bondage of self. These are all activities. Nothing ever happened. They're just happening. Yeah. Now you can see it, and I believe it's going to bring a lightness to it, or you're going to look from it, but it's going to happen. The head is going to rush in and tell you what's going on. It is. And it has a predetermined idea. And it's sort of like these people who now, they have an assumption, and then they start building everything from the assumption. They don't arrive at the assumption through evidence. They try to find evidence to support the assumption, because the assumption doesn't have evidence. So they just assume, no, I'm fucking right. And now I got to get evidence. And then fuck that. I'm just going to lie. Everyone just lies about everything because there's an assumption that's not true. Yes. Where most people, you check things out and you are led to a position of recognition. Hey, that's true for me. Yeah. But now we believe something and then we try to find evidence to support that belief. And if we don't, we fucking do it anyway. So this is all mental, like grasshoppers jumping way ahead. Yeah. So you can see this. What you are hasn't moved an inch. It covers every inch. It doesn't have to move from 1 inch or to another inch. It covers it all. And you see from this panoramic view, it doesn't mean the action figure is going to respond to that. It's not. You're going to see, you're not going to wait for it to respond to that because it's going to react to it from the programming. It's not going to respond to it. It isn't. Yeah. It's not AI. It's not moving into consciousness. It's programmed. And it has a limit and a ceiling, and it doesn't go past that ceiling. And one of the let's say aberrations of the programming is self can't get out of self. It does not get that. It will just keep on keeping on. Spirituality, that fail. Drugs, that fail. Spirituality, again, that fail. Travel, that fail. Single marriage, that failed. Polygamy, that on and on. It just goes on and on. It just will not fucking tell the truth that it can't get out of itself as itself. It just won't. If you wait, I mean, I swear, it didn't seem to be getting it. I just don't think it can. I don't. You know, it's just like a dog. The dog we have can know a lot, but it doesn't know that much. It's got programmed, and it gets to a point where it runs into its limitation. Can't figure it out. Yeah, and then you can, because maybe you're a little more advanced in the manifestation. Sometimes I feel a cruelty, you fuck with the animal because based on their programmed ignorance, as if you are such a wise fucker, which you're not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but you can see that they don't get it. Like they're licking the glass because there's the ice cream, and they just don't get, why. They see the ice cream, but they can't, and they'll be at it for quite a while. Yeah. And you're sitting there, no understanding there's a glass and everything like that. And sometimes you think it's a big joke, but the poor animal is like the steak is right on the glass there. It's probably tasting memory, which I think they go a long way with, but there's not a recognition. Yeah. So this is, I believe, the point of this getting taken to a higher point. I just don't see it. Yeah, I think it's reached its level completely. Hello.
Hi.
Hey. Oh, great. I think Nora's ready. You can pick Nora up. But hey, listen, if anyone has if anyone has a chair, anyone has a question, let me show you everyone. I can't show those people. Yeah, no. Who would you buy a car from in this group? I would say who you wouldn't buy a car from is probably better.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
I'd buy a car from Chris.
What? All right. So anybody have any questions there? We had some people. Remember that lady who came here? She was looking for a funeral. She was all in black and everything. Oh, it was so wild. Did someone die here? I don't think so. It's supposed to be a funeral for the. I'm saying I don't see any. But then she just disappeared. It was great. She had the black stocking, the whole thing. I'm like, wow, sort of strange. All right, anyone? Mike? I think Gary, please. I see a big white, it looks like Mickey Mouse's white gloves or something. It's pointing at Gary from Placerville. You see it, Mike?
See what?
Gary, I think Gary from Placerville wants to say.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't see the square, so go ahead, Gary.
I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, there you are.
Maybe he thinks I'm somebody else.
The computer went to the pointer. It was from me.
Oh.
So I think there's something I have to tell you, Gary.
Oh, great. What is it?
You owe me a lot of money.
Oh, yeah, I'm late on my payment. Sorry about that.
No, Gary, I'm happy to see you. You're seeming lively, eh? You're feeling better?
Yeah, little by little, get a little better. Seem to be.
Fantastic. Great. We're not going to make it up there until after Italy.
I figure that's pretty soon, isn't it? Italy.
Yeah, it's Maria, where we would stay and have the meeting, is going to be, they're a little bit pushed. They're going to Europe earlier. So, yeah. But,
that's cool.
So like they take like a foray to pick up a bag, 8 people. Yeah. Where else do you have to go today?
I'm excited.
Yeah. I thought I recognized one of them. I did. Yeah. I think she was awake one time and lost it. All right, sorry. Who else? So everyone's all cool there? Great. Let's start saying goodbye. Let's say Kerry. Nice to see you, bro. Mike, thank you for all the service. I can't see you well, but I know you're there.
I am.
Vlad, as always, it's nice start saying, eh? Short and sweet. This is how we used to have it. As we went all out live, it would be like 28 minutes, 30 minutes. Yeah. Vlad, always from Portugal. Nice to see you. John from Florida. If anyone wants to share anything, then break in, but I'm just going to start saying goodbye. John, Florida. Marty, goodbye, I think. Yeah. I don't see, I know this guy. This is Aquila. Nice to see Aquila. Joe dropped in. Joe S. Walter. Who is this one? Hold on. Andre the Giant. Remember him? The wrestler? Andre the Giant. Chris B from Boston. Chris H from the North Pole. Nice. Dennis. Mike C. Haven't seen him in a while. And he's sort of prone.
He just waved. He's awake.
His hand has moved. Oh. We got Frank Tucson still looking for mayonnaise. Gary C. Placerville, Tariq in Dover. Mika, I think Mika, where are you in Sweden?
I'm in Finland.
Oh, Finland. I like Finland. What was the guy we used to? Yeah. Nice to see you, bro. Esther, all's well? Shannon Corkery. Emerson in Long Beach. Jay makes some beautiful music. Puts satsang to tunes. Should check it out. It's on the website, I think. We have a link for him. Sean, nice to see you, Sean. Bitterman. Jay, Emerson, Shannon. Let me go to the next page. We got Angie. Angie, the amazing smiling lady from Ontario. I'm going to be seeing you, I think, in a few weeks. Wow, very good. We got Elon, Christine in Maui, Lynn D. I like that, the picture of the cloud. Surfo's iPad. Chris in Lexington, Kentucky. Miranda up in Idaho. Roman Mueller. Yeah, he's already rented the second row bus on the bus. Andrew, Cassandra. I think I covered everything. If anyone wants to share anything or ask a question, if not, we'll just, Mahavir, one of the Portuguese Zen bitch slappers. Oh, good. It's an exotic subdivision of Zen bitch slap, the Portuguese Zen bitch slappers. Yeah. They're very fancy. We have special meetings. Yeah. All right. No one.
It's Lynn D.
Oh, Lynn D.
Would you please speak about how to deal with anger that arises. An issue for me. I have a new boss. I met a new boss who
As the old boss. I don't know, when anger arises. I had anger arose today when I lost the keys to the meeting room. It was great. Anger is an incredible energy. It just matters what directs it and stuff. Yeah. And so the anger losing the keys brought about the sense of commitment I have to the meetings. I would have cared less if I lost the key, if I didn't have the only keys to the room there. And the idea is there's a lot of ways, if you're in the habit or anger takes you over quite a lot, then you probably have ways to divert it or at least shorten it or something. And but you'll just find out when it comes up. But I find it is huge amount of energy, and I think energy can't be created nor destroyed, but it can be directed. And a lot of times the head jumps in and directs the anger to be right at the expense of someone else. And a lot of people don't have that luxury to follow that anymore. Like I do not have the luxury of having an incident on the highway because I'll probably go to jail. Yeah. So the action figure learns that, hey, it's best to allow that anger to be broken up like the cloud in the sky and fill up the sky with a little more juice, so to speak. Yeah. So I learned the hard way that this action figure, if it's taken over by these energies, it gets massive consequences. And I just can't live under that shadow. So I learned through principles not to allow the mental state to claim the anger and put it to its use. Yeah. So usually it gets diverted quickly. And yeah, that's my feeling. So I don't know.
It hasn't.
But I do have a lot of respect for anger.
It hasn't come up for a long time, and it's the situation, and yeah.
Well, a lot of times when certain situations could cause anger, we say in AA, you have to be able to practice these principles in all your affairs. And if you can't, limit the affairs. So
True.
So, but now you're in a situation that the boss that's going to be having contact with you, you don't like or something. So the head sets up a pretty interesting little situation.
Yeah.
Gets revealed. Yeah. Usually it wouldn't last long for me. I get fired in a day or two. I'll show them, but then I get fired. I learned I can't really work with people because they have different ambitions.
Yes.
And I don't have that much ambition. People get really pissed at me when I'm not joining them. Go forward.
So I work for myself. This I call him boss, but really he's like someone that I am now, even though he's part-time, expected to get work from. It's a company that's been my primary customer for 20 years. He expressed that he wants to go full-time, and he's very aggressive with the fact that he can do whatever I can do. So the anger comes from fear of being displaced. I've actually said, "Am I getting fired?" You know, he's aggressive, and
yeah.
it caught me by surprise, and all I did was express the value that I have that I could offer him, but there was anger underneath in my belly. So I guess I'm more concerned with it disturbing my peace than
Well, let me
anything.
just jump in here, Lynn, here for a second. Well, let me just jump in. Mostly what we speak here of is more principle oriented, or just the 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 claiming of these feelings to imply there's the one who has these feelings. And there are probably people who have jobs that work with companies in our Zoom that would know more about it than I would. You know what I mean? So I
Yes.
don't know, like when people talk about depression to me, I can speak on a principle level, but I don't think I've been depressed this life compared to how I see others talk about it. So I'm not, yeah, yeah. So it's sort of like I wouldn't see Paul for, like, relationship counseling. You know, wouldn't
Uh,
recommend.
how about it's the level I realized as I was speaking and saying too much that really all I'm concerned with is the feeling in the body, the disturbance of my peace, of
All right. So,
I let
and
it
then
take me
the feeling in
away.
the body, hold on a second. The feeling in the body is being interpreted, and it's being interpreted by the head. And now, really, what's bothering you is the reaction to the feeling in the body. And you're not that. This is where the principle of the satsang comes in. Yeah. So, this is like a turkey dinner to the head. So it's reacted, and now it has a turkey dinner with the gravy and the stuffing, and it wants to invite other people over. Yeah, I see that, but you're not that. Yeah. So this is the beauty of it. Now there's on a relative level, you have to take care of it in some way, but on this level, it's the value of what you're saying is the pointing at that reaction, that there's a belief somehow is you, some level of you, and it ain't. Yeah. That to me is what I can do. I can share. The other stuff, people have businesses and work and employers and employees, and they probably would know a lot more what to do on the moment to moment situation than I do, because I see things, but more patterns of things. Yeah. And I'm not
I
interested.
understand. I understand.
I'm interested in the pattern of the thing, because the pattern of the thing is reprinting another pattern of its you. Yes. And
That's really what I want to deal with also.
well, there's no dealing with it. There's just seeing it. Dealing with it would be a reaction from the other reactionary state. Yeah. Seeing it starts the dance. You may not be called to make one move. You may be called to make a few moves, but the whole initiation of it is awareness of it. Yeah. And awareness of the claiming of the head. And that claiming of the head is looking at this like Thanksgiving turkey, so we can get off and get into this whole, what's in the dressing, all this shit. Yeah. And just to put that disclaimer in there. Yes. Yeah.
So what was revealed was, if there's nothing I can do, what was revealed was that I fell way more weighted in the direction of the head. It's something I need to practice, I guess. I don't know.
You don't know, honey. Don't go anywhere yet. Just feel it, and some angst that almost every action figure has it in a way, which is afraid of losing what you got and not getting what you want. It's just basically, its little washing machine is always set on agitation. It's just agitated. Yes. Yeah. And so it wants to have that agitation reverberate into a larger pond, so to speak. Yeah. And it needs you, what we are, to do that. Yes.
Yes.
It can stir its own pot, but it can't fucking stir the lake. It needs us. It needs our consent to that manufacturing. That's all. And if it's doing it, you're not that's doing it. That's the beauty of it. The message is, instead of trying to kick something off the floor, FLOOR, it's questioning the floor, yeah, which is always us. Just questioning it. Yeah, and this is, to me, is a beautiful thing to use, to do just that. Because when stuff gets important to the head, it shows its cards. Yeah. This is just like what happened with me when I looked at, in recovery, we do a thing called an inventory. And one of the inventories was about sexual behavior, how it hurt other people and whatever, in wanting, and how it was used to pursue what you wanted. Now, on a baseline, it would look like I was wanting to have a lot of sex, but it wasn't the case. I was wanting to have self-esteem that I got through sex. Yeah. Very important fucking to see. Because my story, the story that I was getting was, yeah, go out with these babes. But no, what brought me going out all the time was what they signified. So if a pretty woman would go prone with me, it made me feel fucking okay against tons of evidence of unokayness. And I had to go out again. And if I saw she had a beauty mark on the right cheek and that disqualified her, I had to go get another signifier to make myself feel like I was okay. It was a form of fucking addiction. Yeah. The same thing. What did they tell me when I came into recovery? Hey, bro, you got to be, they didn't say it that way. It was sort of like that. They said, you got to be willing to save your ass instead of your face. Now, when they told me that, I recognized, I thought my face was my ass. I did. I was trying to, and so the discomfort has great value when it doesn't set off the alarm and you call up the fucking fire department, but you go before the fire starter and see you're not that. That's the value I like to bring about in this seat assignment. How to navigate when the shit's hit the fan. There's a lot of people that are experts at it, much more than I am. Yes? Oh, I have all this going. Yeah, great. You know, I have a lot of blind spots. I'm just don't care. Yeah. This is important because how life told me was, if I don't see this, which we're trying to point out, if I don't see this thing that's before everything, I'm going to be looking from it. Yes, I'm going to be looking from it. And I know what that has done in this life. Yeah. It took the greatest stuff I could have done and used it the same way it took the worst stuff I could have done. Yeah. As forms of bonding to this idea. Yeah. That I'm going to lose. See, this is a weird way because, see, when you're afraid of something not going the way you want, there's an assumption that if it goes the way you want, you're going to get the best effect of it. But that could be not true. It may be great to get fucking fired and move somewhere else. So this is all meaning giving to produce an effect now. Yeah. Like, yeah. Usually we're afraid of losing something because to think it's going to go down less. It's going to be worse than better. So, but you've seen life has done the exact opposite. When you gave up something, you got a better fucking invitation. Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, I get it. Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate
and
it.
If you have that, there's the idea of a higher power, which is one of the greatest movements of recovery, and Ramana Maharshi used to always talk about it. He said, hey, if you seem to be interested in getting to the origins of your misery, self-inquiry. If you're just overwhelmed and outmatched, surrender. Thy will be done. You know, just feel like something's going to take you and take care of you and direct you. Yes. And this is a lovely theme to adopt when I was in recovery. It was what really worked for me, because I knew I wasn't managerial quality. And I had to make up another one that would be in management, and it was called an unseen force or a grace. And something had got done to me that no human power could have done, which was get me sober. And I saw all the people who loved me in this life, they couldn't do it, but something did it. And that's something very vague. The effect of it was profoundly fucking like cement. So it's a vague idea, but its effect was huge in this life. And that just opened up for years a working way of traveling through this place a day at a time, which is something is doing for me what I cannot do for myself. And now I'm going to expand on what I cannot do for myself. Yes. So thy will is done, I believe. I don't believe thy will be done. I think if you observe, you'll see thy will is done. Something is doing for us what we couldn't do for ourselves. Hallelujah. Go with it. Yeah. So there's ways of traveling with ideas, like the Sufis. If you ever read Hafiz or what's his name? The guy, these people seem to be as clear as they in fucking poetry is mind-boggling, first of all. And to picture the nothingness as a beloved is unbelievable. Yeah. Do you believe they thought there was something else out there? No. They made that being everywhere, everything gave them license to make it appear to be anything. And so they had it as the beloved. All right. You're going to go out and you're running into the beloved. No, you're not. The beloved isn't 6'2" and waiting on the corner. They were using an imagery, yeah, because certain people respond to tastes, yeah. The imagery of something taking care of you is very tasty if you've been fucking just in the depths of bottom. And then non-admittance or inability to surrender to that fact, the thing would just keep on managing no matter how low it went. It just kept on managing as if it was going to succeed finally. You were below the surface. The ship had already sank and you're still thinking you're going to turn it around. I mean, you were living on a bottom and then something fucking whacks you and changes your life and your motivation. And I've been sober 35 years now with no fucking work much, really. I mean, I was happy as hell to have an idea that all these responsibilities are off my shoulders, give it to this idea of the beloved, the higher power, the non-duality, whatever. The imagery gives it a nice taste, feeling, a flavor. Yeah, I'm all for it. Yeah. If you feel like you're outmatched, fucking great. Surrender. At the same time, you want to look at the origins that have you as the one that's outmatched. Inquire about that. And inquire about the sense of individuality. Yeah. If it isn't true, it's going to change the rules of the whole game. And I don't believe it's true. So there you go. All right. So I'm not a fundamentalist or an absolutist. The action figure, I think, does much better with the idea of a power greater than it, because it's been moved on a game board. Yeah, it has. And now to say, oh, there's no game board, it just doesn't work for it. Yeah. So now it's being moved by this kind of grace wind. And there's a feeling that's very nice. It lasts. It doesn't go away. You don't have to eat right after it to get it again. It lingers, yeah. And all the while, the action figure, it's almost as if you gave notes to a void, yeah. You made a song out of the void, out of the sound of silence. You put together some notes, and you could like a little, yeah. And it just triggers a joy when you can just hear the void as like 7 notes. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how I see it. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Back to saying goodbye. Yeah.
You just got a hand from Miranda.
Hey, wait a minute. All right, Miranda.
Question hand, not a wave hand. I mean, a comment hand, not a wave hand.
What's that thing? Yeah. All right, Miranda.
Hey, fucks up. I just really have nothing, well, probably more shit to say than thank you, or I just would have fucking sent you a text or something. I almost called you last night. I was dealing with this AA situation. Fucking fuck AA, it's rad. But I just want to express how incredibly grateful I am for that I get to do this like fucking 5 times a week sometimes. I got a fucking big whack and I did not know what the fuck was going on like a year and a half ago. And like, it has been crazy. It's been crazy. Like, so many seemingly difficult things have happened and it's clear they're just going to keep happening. And what the experience is like now of those things happening is completely fucking different. And if I didn't have this, like, just space that feels so, and it's not about it's just a fucking vibe. It's just a fucking vibe that resonates. And I don't know. That's fucking it, really. That's I'm just so grateful. Just so grateful that like it hits and it feels safe. Just groups have not felt safe. People have not felt safe. That's not been my experience, and this feels like safety and comfort and like it carries me. It's something that's like fucking blooming or some shit. I don't know. But thank you.
Yeah, huh? Honey, just don't get out of the pot.
I swear to God, I am like it feels like the little frog is boiling here sometimes, and I'm just, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah. Thank you. Very nice. I'm happy we got Lynn and Miranda. Very nice. Yeah. You know, you have that sense of safety. It's just being allowed to come out here. That's all. Safety is built in. Yeah. Like it says in the course, you know, our attack thoughts are attacking our invulnerability. So how could there be attack on something invulnerable? Exactly. Yeah. So this is sort of what happens. Hey, thank you. I'm going to go back to saying to Akila, how are you, Akila? Yeah, this has been a moving day. Lisa, my Alabama character.
How you doing today, Paul? Great talk.
I'm doing good, I think.
I see that. I can see it.
Been checked in lately.
No need. I got you.
Yeah. All right. We got Christine in Maui. Maui now. Wow, Maui today. We got Oliver in Berlin. Lynn. Mahavir. If I missed you guys, anyone, I never do though. Tej. Oh, Tej. Nice to see Tej and Esther Vlad, of course, and Elon. We have such a joyous thing with the Italy trip. Nice folks live. Joe Sturgis, nice to see you. Hey, everyone, thank you. Miranda, yeah, just remember, stay on the operating table. Don't get up. And don't play doctor. Really. All right. Hey, thank you. We're going to go have a lovely coffee. And I wish everyone a nice day. I'll see you soon. We're going to be around. I saw the website doesn't have any meetings, Mike. Hey, Mike.
He had to step out, so I think Carrie might be in control.
If somebody can send Mike a message, there's nothing other than today's meeting. So just see if we can put up the dates. And it's the same thing. We'll be here at the church, I feel. Whatever. Just follow the website.
Hey, Paul, I just
meeting ever today.
I was just on the site and I saw meetings, but it looks like the first one for the 12th it says Saturday when it should say Tuesday.
Oh, all right, great. Well, I'll talk to Mike later, but good.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Sure.
Thank you, Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
On the 24th, 25th. Yeah. All right. See you. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Paul.
Love you, Paul.
Mahalo, Paul.
Thanks, Mike. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.